Harja, today marks the 124th day of Israel's war in Gaza. This was never a war of defence. It's being executed as a war of ethnic cleansing against the Palestinian people, not only in Gaza but also in the West Bank. A war of genocide which has been broadcast and recorded in real time by the victims of that same genocide. Gaza is now a graveyard for children, a cemetery for international law, and it will be forever remembered as the place when so-called Western democracies stood back and were complicit with an attempt to annihilate the Palestinian people, their society and their culture. Gaza and the West Bank and the occupation of Palestine have become the most defining moral and humanitarian issue of our time. The daily atrocities, massacres and carnage are mind-numbing and they're soul-destroying. Harja, there is no coming back from this. The actions of the aggressors have crossed every conceivable diplomatic, legal and political boundary. Israel's war in Gaza screams a question for the international community and for us all here in Ireland. What side are you on? And there are no grey areas or blurred lines. Tonight we assert clearly that we in this room in Belfast are not neutral. We know what side we are on because we stand for international law, universal rights and human dignity. We will not hold back from using whatever leverage we have as a party on behalf of our Palestinian sisters and brothers. And we call on the Irish government and all Irish politicians who travel abroad this St. Patrick's Day period to do exactly the same. Whether at home or abroad, all Irish influence must now be mobilised on behalf of Palestine. We must not be silent. We will ensure the plight of the Palestinian people is spoken of and heard everywhere. We refuse to stop talking about Palestine. Harja, Irish Republicans are deeply proud of our history and struggle with the Palestinian people. The bonds between our national struggles have existed for many decades and they are unbreakable. And while we are closer now than at any time in our history to the achievement of Irish self-determination and independence, Sinn Féin is clear. Our own freedom in Ireland will ultimately be incomplete without the freedom of the Palestinian people. So, comrades and friends, let our message from here in Belfast speak loudly tonight to Ramallah and Jenin, to East Jerusalem and Hebron, to the children of Khan Yunis, Gaza City and in Rafah. Ireland sees you. We are with you forever and we will never ever abandon you. Free Palestine.
Thanks very much, Declan. I'm delighted to introduce the Palestinian Ambassador to Ireland, Dr. Jilan. Thank you.
I am honoured to be back in Belfast, and this time in a very special and historical time for North Ireland. I would like to take this opportunity to extend my heartfelt congratulations to Her Excellency the First Minister, Michelle O'Neill, and wish Her Excellency every success in her endeavors. It's a pivotal moment. Thank you, Declan, for organizing this. Thank you, everyone who attend today. Tonight, I would like to speak loud about Palestine. Palestine is my beloved homeland. Palestine, that is since 1948, is facing only one Israeli plan: displacement and seize full control from the river to the sea to implement its supremacist and colonial control. What happened on the 7th of October last was a result of decades of oppression, colonization, dispossession, and the denial of the rights of the Palestinian people. The whole world, supported the creation of the State of Israel. The Palestinians have been denied the same rights since then. For decades, the Palestinian people have fought for their freedom and for the right of self-determination, which has been consistently denied by the big powers of the international community. The 7th of October was a product of this oppression and dispossession and colonization, and the nightmare that has seen 17 years of blockade of Gaza by Israel. Gaza has been an open-air prison for over 2 million people in an area the size of County Louth since 2007. We, the Palestinians, the killing and taking hostages of innocent civilians. However, what has unfolded since the 7th of October to the attacks on Israeli soldiers and civilians has gone far beyond what the Prime Minister of Israel and his far-right governments has described as a self-defense. It was beyond rage and revenge. And what about the self-defense of the Palestinians? For almost 4 months, actually we enter the 5th month now, the people of Gaza has been exposed to the most savage and barbaric aggressions in our history, and I called it Nakba 23. The ongoing live stream massacre, deliberately, systematically, and savagely perpetrated by Israel against the Palestinian civilians population under its illegal colonial apartheid occupation, continue unabated with no ceasefire in the horizons. We hear here and there about the ceasefire. Nothing actually is clear so far. The international community, apart from some nations, including Ireland, has failed us. Humanity failed us. As the United Nations Secretary General has said, this is the crisis of humanity. I was born and raised in Gaza by a refugee family, just like 750,000 Palestinians forcibly expelled from their homeland in 1948. I lived in Ireland and proudly represent my people as the ambassador of Palestine since 2020. I'm very lucky and honored to be contained at this minute and the most difficult time in our history. As I said, I'm thousands of kilometers away from the seaside that I love so much in Gaza. I can't even imagine how my family, my friends, and all the people in Gaza have been feeling so far. No words will be ever able to describe the misery and the catastrophe that they are enduring in Gaza. The Israeli occupation commits war crimes, and the whole world is witnessing a live genocide. The whole world sees the slaughter of the Palestinians in Gaza, but has continuously failed to stop this bloodshed. I used to believe in international law and UN bodies. Today, I see nothing prevailing in this world except the brutality of power now rules. Humanity will be something that we only recognize from the past. Every single day, Israel proves the inherent violence, racism, and persecution of its occupation, its colonial and apartheid nature, and its objective to wipe out the Palestinians are undeniable. It shows the inherent terror and extremism of this occupation its total illegality and aggression in every manifestation. It's a constant assault on the lives, rights, dignity, and the existence of the Palestinian people, which started well before the 7th of October and continued every single minute since. No one should be fooled by the Israelis' claim of sparing civilians' lives. To date, Israel has killed almost 28,000 Palestinians. When I say numbers, I mean not numbers. I mean humans. I mean families grieve their beloved one. Some of them part of my family. Dr. Omar has the same. It's not a numbers. It's a names and families. Predominantly women and children, and thousands are still under the rubble. More than 70,000 have been injured, of whom many have lost limbs with amputation without anesthesia taking place regularly due to the medical aid not being allowed to Gaza. Israel targets and doesn't spare any human beings, buildings, hospitals, schools, universities, mosques, or churches. 60% of the buildings in Gaza have been turned into rubble and are partially destroyed, making Gaza uninhabitable. Actually, this is the main goal of the Israelis. They destroy all the means of the people. Like, even if the war stopped today, people will not be able to live normally. No schools, no universities, no hospitals. The health system completely collapsed. Where the people will go? And I heard it from many people that I know in Gaza. Even though we will build a tent in our house, even if it's a rubble, and we will continue to live there. This is our land, and we believe that this land belongs to us. We will not leave, and we will be strongly defend our rights to self-determination and to be free in this land. Even the bodies of who are dead and buried are not respected, as Israel continues to bulldoze and dig up graves, defiling and dismembering bodies, refusing to even let them rest in peace and causing further trauma to their grieving families if they have any surviving. Many of the people in Gaza have had their homes destroyed in the previous assaults. Now they have lost the homes that they built and rebuilt for themselves and their families. They mourn their city, they mourn the Gaza Strip, as all its landmarks have been destroyed. We have no memories left for us in Gaza. Everything, the place that I was born, completely destroyed. Nothing left for us to memorize, but it's there, and we will continue to keep it there. We will rebuild it, and we will live in our free Palestine. Every place of which people enjoyed happy memories have been disfigured. Every corner is filled with agony, death, and suffering. In the past 4 months, virtually every Palestinian in Gaza have been displaced multiple times, from a home to a UN shelter to a tent, searching for safety everywhere, finding safety nowhere, searching for life anywhere, met by death everywhere. And as I said, our children are being killed and shredding their bodies into pieces or crushing them under the tons of rubble. They are being wounded, maimed, starved, orphaned, displaced, left to die from disease, infections, illness, and cold. We have more than 25,000 orphans in Gaza. The children of Palestine are being traumatized, psychologically, physically, emotionally. They are witnessing their mothers, fathers, sisters, and brothers blown or bit by Israel missile and bombs striking Gaza non-stop over the past 4 months. When I say children, I mean more than 1 million child. 40% of them are under the age of 15 years old. There are now in Gaza more than 55,000 pregnant women. And since October the 7th, more than 20,000 children has been born, all with severe nutritional deficiency. And I said they killed 11,000, 12,000, and there are 20,000 more were born. All of these people, all of these children will grow up, and they will continue to believe that these belong to this land, and we will liberate it, and we will be free. Even if they kill us, we will have more children to defend our rights to be in this land. They have been forced to live without education, without learning. They are witnessing the humiliation of their parents and elders and the dehumanization of their entire people. A nation under occupation, apartheid, siege, and now targeted by genocide. These atrocities don't just stop with Gaza. In the West Bank, Palestinians are being hunted by Israeli soldiers and the colonial settlers, who are beating, shooting, terrorizing them, and violating their bodies, detaining and torturing them. More than 320 young Palestinians have been killed since the October the 7th. More than 6,500 have been taken captive, adding to the already 4,600 political prisoners. Many have been displaced in the West Bank. Last week, Israel approved building of 7,000 colonial settlements units, depriving the Palestinians from their land through a large scale of expropriation. Colonial settlers are armed and supported by the Israeli occupation forces and far-right fascist ministers. It took 75 years for the United Nations to finally recognize the Nakba, the 48 Nakba. Instead of seeing the Nakba end, our people are yet again confronted with large-scale massacres aimed at forcibly displacing them. But the Palestinian people are there in Palestine to stay. We have the right to live in freedom and dignity in our ancestral land. We were born to live, and we love life. And I'm proud to be here to represent the Palestinian people. Thank you very much for having me.